Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. My name's Trevor Beck. I'm the Google Evangelist here at MacEwan University. And today we're going to be talking about how to work with Microsoft Office documents in a Google Drive world. I get a lot of questions from people saying, can I still keep my Microsoft documents and do I have to convert them? The answer is no, you don't have to convert them. But of course, there are some challenges with doing that. There are some features that aren't available if you keep everything in their native drive. Joining me today is Dave Cato from MacEwan as well. David, you want to introduce yourself a bit, please?
Yeah, hi everybody. Curtis says I'm Dave Cato. I'm the chair of Phys Ed over here in Building 9. And I'm just coming on board as a Google user and trying to keep Trevor on track and asking some questions that perhaps that some things that I've experienced in dealing with the issues that Trevor's going to be talking about. So anyway, so I'm just going to hang out and chime in when necessary. So thanks for coming on, and we'll chat with you all later.
Thanks, David. If you've got any questions, I've set up a Google document that you can enter your information in. You don't have to log in or anything like that. But open up a new tab, go to macewan.ca, Let's Talk Q, so Let's Talk Questions. This video is part of the Let's Talk Google Apps series of videos, so we'll just kind of keep that consistency there. So, macewan.ca, Let's Talk Q. We'll check in once in a while to see how the questions are going, and we'll work into that later. What I want to do now is just quickly do a screen share here and talk a bit about Google Drive. And this should be showing up on my screen. Is it showing up there, David? Nod your head if it's showing. Okay, perfect. So, Google Drive, it's online storage. So basically, you can throw everything you want at it. As long as you have an internet connection and a web browser, Google Drive is going to be accessible to you. It's also a storage location for Google Apps. If you use Google Apps, which are Google Docs, Docs, Sheets, and Slides, the storage for those files get added to Google Apps. Security-wise, it's vetted by MacEwan University, so as long as you're logged in with your MacEwan University credentials, we're good to go. The important thing here is that it will store any file type. Just like Dropbox, it's just a big folder in the cloud that you can throw stuff in there. What you can do with it, though, once it's in the cloud is where we have to take a look at it, depending on whether it's an app that Google recognizes or if it's something else. To get in, make sure you're logged out of your personal Gmail account. Log into the portal with your MacEwan University account, and you'll see a little thing on the left there that says Google Drive. You must be logged out of your personal Gmail account. You can still log in with your university credentials and still be logged in with your personal Gmail account. So it's really important that you log out of that personal Gmail account. The first time that you ever are working with this, you're going to see something here that says, do you want to upload download the drive, the Google Drive, which is a local application that syncs whatever you have in the cloud with your desktop. I tell people, say no. Don't do this right now. With the browsing that because most of the work you're going to be doing is in the web anyway. So if you can stay in the web, it reduces the chance of there being accidents. It reduces the chance of there being corrupted information. So just say no, and we'll work directly inside the web. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to take a look at first of how do we upload our documents into Google Drive, and what are some of the settings that come along with that. I'm going to be doing a screen share here of my computer. Make sure I have the right one here. And you should see my desktop. Can you confirm that for me, David? I get this window that keeps going in, so I'm assuming that you can see that.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, thanks. Okay, so this is a folder that I have in Google Drive. The first thing I want to take a look at is over in Settings, and check out the settings here. Google has these settings here for converting Google Docs, or converting Word documents or any kind of document into a Google Doc. If I have this on, it will automatically do that. So I'm going to hit Done here. And there's a couple of ways that I can add stuff into the file. I have a folder here called Uploads. It says drag it or use the New button. Well, we're going to actually take existing files. So I'm going to take this Word document here and bring it over. Now, what happens down at the bottom here is that Google actually uploads the Microsoft Word document, then converts it to a Google Doc. Once it's converted to a Google Doc, I now have access to all the great features that come along with Google, which is going to be the collaboration features, any of the commenting, any of the communication stuff. All that becomes part of it. So being able to convert stuff automatically is advantageous to you. At any point in time, if I'm working with the document, I can go under the File menu here, and I can, once I finish loading it up, I can download this file as a Microsoft Word document. A lot of the features that you'll see here will be visible into Microsoft Word documents. Now, keep in mind, Microsoft Word is a full-fledged program. There are some features in Word that Google Docs does not do well with. I've seen some really crazy-looking tables that are created over in Microsoft Office. When you try and convert it, Google says, no, that's just too complicated, and it'll make a mess of it. So Google Docs is not for everything. I will say that right now. In that case, maybe then what you need to do is stay with your Microsoft documents. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to turn these settings off. And I'm going to delete this here. Now, I'm going to take my documents here, and I'm going to bring them over here. And watch what happens this time. You'll notice in this window here, I don't actually convert anything. It still stays in the format, the original format. Might take a second or two to load up, but we can see here this is still a Word document, this is still a spreadsheet, and this is still a PowerPoint presentation. If I want to make major changes to this, I can download this and re-upload this document, and it will allow me to go ahead and make the changes locally and then upload them, just like you would do in Dropbox, in pStaff Common, any of that kind of stuff. You can download it, changes, upload it. Sometimes, though, you want to go in and you want to make changes to this document directly without converting it. In order to do that, you need to be working in a couple of, you need to work with a couple of things. First of all, you need to be working in Google Chrome, and you need to load an extension. So converting documents on the fly, you can do that in any browser. Internet Explorer, Safari, whatever. You can pull that in. It'll work in any browser. But to actually edit and not change the default format, you need to work with Google Chrome, and you need to load up an extension. Now, an extension is basically just what you think it is. It's a little piece of software that gets added to the base unit of Google Chrome to give it extra features. And there's actually a real simple way to get access to it. If you go under Apps here, it takes you to, you'll see a link there to the web store. So this is the Google Web Store, where you can have applications and extensions and themes that Google will access. We'll talk more about apps and some other extensions in another video, but for now we're just going to deal with this one. And the extension I want to look at is to edit Office. You can just type in something simple like this. You get an extension here called Office Editing for Docs, Sheets, and Slides. I already have it loaded up, so it says rate it. Otherwise, I can just click it, and it will load that that extension up. So what that extension does is it gives me some extra features into my documents. If I go here with this extension loaded, and I double-click on it, you'll notice that it says Chrome extension, blah, blah, blah. This is now showing up as a Word document. I can tell that it's a Word document because it's got the W beside it. And we're in what's called Office Compatibility mode, basically meaning I'm not going to change the format of this to a Google Doc. It's going to stay in an Office document. You're not going to get all the bells and whistles. Google's going to allow you to do some basic editing in here. So if I wanted to, I can come in here. I can enter in a new style or a new sub-style using the existing.
Interrupting, Trevor, are you supposed to be in screen share? Because I'm not seeing any screen share.
Oh, well, when did that happen?
About 8 sentences ago.
Okay, thanks for catching me on that one. Let me try this again. Are we screen sharing?
There you go. Looks
okay.
Much better now.
All right, so let me go back a few steps. Thanks for catching me on that. Boy, I'm glad you were here, because if I was by myself, I'd be doing this whole thing. So did you see where I went and loaded the extensions? Was that a yes?
No, actually, I think, yeah, right about here, then just start going back, start like you, yeah.
Okay.
There.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you go in Apps, click on this. It'll give you the access to the Chrome Web Store. Go in and you type in Edit Office. We'll bring you to this piece here. So this is the information about this extension called Office Editing for Doc Sheets and Slides. So we just go ahead. We can load this up. And as you can see, for me, it's already added to Chrome. So this gives us the extra feature that allows us to edit these Word, Excel, PowerPoint documents in their natural format. This is now stored on my computer, or sorry, in my Google Drive. So I can just double click on this. You'll see the extension open up here. And, whoop, did I shut it or did it shut? There we go. Dave, do you still see that?
Yep, we're still good.
Thanks. So here it is, basic Word document. I'm going to go in. I can start typing in whatever I want. I can make use of existing styles. So the heading 2 that's already there. Go ahead and make some changes. Reset this to normal. I can do all that. It doesn't allow me to have shortcut keys. It doesn't allow me to go in and modify the styles or anything like that. It's just a very basic editor. One of the important things about it is that it does not save automatically. I actually would have to go in and hit Save Now at any time. So it's kind of like being old school Microsoft, where you have to go in and save your changes at any point in time. But for something that I may be sharing with somebody else who uses Microsoft Word a lot, they're not used to the Google side of things, maybe this is not my concession, is I will work in this, do my editing, hit my saving, and it keeps telling me that, hey, this is not going to be auto-saved. It will allow those other people to open that file as the Google Doc, or sorry, as the Microsoft Doc with my changes enabled.
Now, Trevor, with those changes, just a quick question here. Things like section breaks and other things, are those saved in the edited version using the either Google or the app version of Word or Microsoft Word? Or any of those pagination type issues that seem to go really crazy when you switch around?
You know what? I just do basic page, like new page breaks, that kind of stuff. That has saved for me, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that there couldn't be any problems, but at this point in time, all it's doing is looking at basic editing. And with these kind of documents, you're looking at collaboration more so than anything else. I mean, if you're trying to do layout and design and stuff like that, Microsoft Word's not the place you want to do that anyways.
Okay.
So I'm going to also take a look here at this Excel spreadsheet. And one of the things I wanted to show about this one, once it's finished loading here, is, I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it, is although I can do a little bit with the, you'll see the totals add up here. So there are still the sums and all that, like a lot of the calculations. Let me throw in, under personal allowances here, I'll put in $420 because that's important. You'll see that it does add, the calculations still work. So a lot of that kind of stuff, even though I don't have access to the lookup features for those formulas, if the formulas are in place, I just need to go and add some data or something like that, it will continue to work that way. And again, when I go ahead and hit save, it should save itself. I've seen a note recently, like in the last 2 or 3 days, where they've actually said that they were supposed to auto-save some of the files. So I don't see the save function showing up here today, right now. So maybe that's being rolled out right away, and we're just in the middle of it. That often happens. But you can see that those functions are still going to work. And then PowerPoint, well, I mean, it's PowerPoint, right? I can go in, I can make edits and stuff like that. Wait for the page to load. Yeah, so there I can go in and I can make whatever changes I want in here, and it gets saved automatically. Again, in this case, it looks like it's getting saved automatically. There we go. So that's cool. So PowerPoint and Excel, that's new. So with all that, one of the nice things about it is that we can modify whatever we've got saved up here. If I have this folder saved with someone else and they have it mounted on their desktop, they can use Microsoft to open it up and do whatever edits they want. Again, the important thing that I really want to stress here is that you do not get the collaboration tools. And that, to me, is more important than any of the bells and whistles and pretty pictures and stuff that you can add to a Word document. Does that make sense to you so far there? Whoops. Any questions that David? Nope. Okay. I'm just going to show one other thing here. I'll go back into the screen. Can you let me know when the screen share's up and running again?
I can do that. Here you go.
Are we good?
Yep. Good.
Okay. So if I have Chrome running and I have the extension running, I have this file here which is on my desktop. So the file is not stored on the drive, in Google Drive. It's stored locally on my machine. I can still go and edit this file here. So I'm just going to quickly open it up in Word, and you see where it says Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character, blah, blah, blah. Now, if someone sends me a file and I don't have Word installed, I can still just take this, drag it over here. It will open it up, even locally stored files on my desktop. So I can go in here. Sherlock Holmes is a fictional or a real detective. And I'm going to hit save. And here it's going to try and save it as a different format. That's new. That's really new. So let's close that. What should happen, imagine if you will, because it's worked every other time. Come on, Microsoft, where'd you go? There we go. We can see Sherlock Holmes is a real detective. So those changes not only are dealing with the files we have stored in Google Drive, they also will work with any files that we have stored locally. So I personally haven't used much Microsoft probably in the last 3 or 4 years, especially in the last 2 years. I've been mostly Google stuff. And nice thing about it is I don't need to have Office installed for doing a lot of the kind of edits and stuff like that. I can do those directly over into there. If anyone has any questions, again, if you want to put them in under mcewen.ca/Let's Talk Google Q, I'm just going to take a quick check and see if we have anyone there. Nope, no one's doing any questions there yet. But if you want, please, by all means, go ahead and enter a question. David, what about you? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. I just have one with respect to the Google Drive itself. And I'm sure you get this quite a bit, but just where is the information stored? Like, where are those servers? Are they in Canada or are they the US? And secondly, are they subject to the privacy issues that we often hear about?
Right. Okay, so Google stores its files all over the world. Canada, United States, Europe, Germany, whatever, and it's backed up. So there's always redundant backups. Google has a 99.3% uptime, but the way it does that is to ensure that if we've got backup copies and subsequent backup copies. So the question, as far as the whole, basically we're talking NSA. That's the concern, right? Yeah. So. How does that work? If someone comes to, if the NSA comes to anyone in Google in the States and says, hey, Trevor, we suspect he's got some terrorism activity, we want to get a thing, they still have to go through all the courts and stuff like that to get access to the data. And this is how it's been explained to me by our privacy person. Yes, that's true. However, just because it's stored here in Canada does not mean that nobody can get access to it. Canada has agreements with all the countries, a number of the big countries. And so if Germany comes to us and says, hey, you know what, we think that Trevor is up to some terrorist acts, we need to get information and access to the stuff. So they come to CSIS, the Canadian version of the NSA. CSIS picks up a phone, calls up a judge and says, we need a court order to take to McEwen. Judge will basically say, yeah, it'll be there by the time you arrive. Someone comes knocking on the door and says, we need Trevor's files, McEwen will release them. If there is any, I can't remember the statement, I usually have that available somewhere, but I don't have it today. But basically, if there is any provincial or federal law saying that we have to give up that information, McEwen's going to do it.
Yeah. I was just thinking in the instance where, for example, an instructor gives out an assignment and a student writes something that might be perceived as inflammatory or whatever the case may be, and as the robots crawl over it and pick that up. And that was the reason I was asking that, just in terms of the not so much the things that we as professors do, but perhaps some of what the students do in their assignments, and even from a legitimate point of view.
Well, I don't. That's a good point. I really couldn't answer that because I'm not the NSA. MacEwan has signed off on the security. As far as I know, a lot of instructors are concerned about, well, if I put my information up there, someone can access it, and then I work so hard on this PowerPoint presentation and stuff like that. And in that way, yes, we've signed off on that. I mean, it's as secure as we can get. I mean, understanding if you've got a bunch of Russians sitting there drinking Jolt Cola for 15 hours at a time, they're going to find a way into our own servers here, right? I mean, we've had problems in the past too. So we've done everything we can, and that's what we basically have to show. That whole security is a great topic for another conversation. I'm just not qualified. But all I can say is that MacEwan is okay with us using it for the purposes of teaching. And for students for doing the rest of that stuff.
All right. Thanks, Trevor.
Okay. I don't see any other questions, so let's cut it off there. So because that's 20 minutes enough. If you have any other questions, by all means, you can contact me at MacEwan here at becht@macewan.ca, and we're going to be doing more and more of these sessions. I'm trying to do one every week or every couple of weeks, so by all means, please tune in some more, spread the word around. I usually promote them through MacEwan Midweek, as well as if you go to our website macewan.ca/Google. That's our Google site. It's got all sorts of information there. Let me just do another quick screen share here. And whoops, that never works good. I wish I could figure out why that does that here, but it does. But if you go to macewan.ca/Google, and this is a good site for anyone that's just starting, whether it's student, staff, admin, whatever. This video down here is a great video. It shows you how to do the collaboration. I know a lot of people, when they talk collaboration, they think, oh, if I put it in a folder and I can share it, that's collaboration. No, that's sharing a folder. Collaboration is where you use that commenting function and notes and all sorts of stuff that you're familiar with the Microsoft side of things, but Google does it in such a way that is so much better. You can see there's some tutorials off to the side here, and so there, Google Drive Essential Training is from lynda.com. As MacEwan staff and faculty, we all have access to it. Great video for going and learning more about the Google apps. I have a blog here that I do for some tips, so for some advanced tips and stuff. And as well, let's talk Google Apps video series, which is this part here. If you go there, as I create them, I'm going to put them in here, and you'll be able to search by a keyword, and you'll be able to have links to the videos. If there's some resources to go along with it, there'll be resource links to that. And I will have a couple of resource links for this session here that I will put there as well. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining me, guys. David, thank you for joining me as well.
You are most welcome, my man.
Okay, and thank you, and we'll see you guys later.